What's going on? Come on in, come on in, come on in. Gotta wet the whistle. What's going on, everybody? Troy Rawlings here. Troy Rawlings live. And as many of you know, what's going on, Flamin? I see you, Sister Belief. I see you. And as many of you know, this is the Troy Rawlings live show, baby. So, hey, Troy McGillicuddy. This is where I always mess up. Is it the Netherlands, Troy? Or is it, it's got to be the Netherlands. Is it the Netherlands? Or New Zealand? Okay. But welcome, brother. And keep me posted on when you and your wife are going to be hitting the road so I can get people in the areas ready for it. We need to do, actually, Troy, me and you need to go live. But today, this morning, thank you all for tuning in. New Zealand. All right, brother, good. Live from New Zealand. We got people from New Zealand in the building, Los Angeles in the building. We letting y'all come in. As you know, I've been doing radio for 26 years now. I love broadcasting, but one of the things I love most about radio broadcasting, even when I started to meet the show in 2019 and the Sheen Talk Live and everything, I love interviewing people because, hey, London, UK, what's going on? Because everybody has a story. And I love interviewing entrepreneurs because I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I love working with entrepreneurs. And I'm a foodie, so I really love people that got their own restaurant. And our guest today, we're going to find out some backstory on them, where they actually hail from. And but this beautiful couple, it looks like they're college kids. I don't know how old they are, but they look like college kids. Manny and Diana, owners of Flamin Pasta in Inglewood, Los Angeles.
Hey, what's going
What
on?
it do? Hold up. I gotta give y'all some flowers too, real quick. You guys, we ran into each other. Manny's a member as well as Drove Stogies. And we were at Drove Stogies. I forgot which event it was. But one day you and your wife pulled me up and say, yo, we love your lives and your stitches and stuff like that. Sometimes when I hear people say that, I'm like, they talking about Tony Baker. They got me mixed up with somebody. But it's like, we didn't know you did comedy and we love your stitches and this, that, and the other. And that's your own aunt and uncle, your average gamer. um, they they were like, we really love what you're doing. You got to keep doing that. And we watch your content. Me and my wife watch your content. And I was wondering which things I could be most consistent in that I was going to keep doing. And when y'all said that, and then Tony Massey, y'all didn't notice, Tony Massey, as I went outside, said something to me about the same thing. I was like, all right, God, that's it. All right, I gotta focus on this. Because of y'all and people encouraging me, I have close to 500,000. What event? I have over 500,000 views in the past month
That's awesome.
because I kept doing it. So thank y'all for encouraging me. You never know who you're encouraging. Just a
All right.
little thing, and that encouraged me a lot. And I'm a foodie. And one day the cats came in there and everybody had these flaming pasta shirts. I was like, where y'all coming from? It was like, oh, Manny opened a restaurant. I was like, no, what are you talking about? He's like, I got a pasta spot. And I was talking to him. I was like, really? And I went in there and I was like, yeah, give me the mild. Where you from? Where you from? All right, let's go. Manny and Diana, owners of Flamin Pasta. Thank y'all for coming in Troy Rawlings Live. Where you originally from, both of y'all?
I'm from Chicago, and he's from Boston.
Yeah, but what's your ethnicity?
Yeah,
Oh,
where's the cause this isn't your normal pasta. Like I used to work at Pargo's in Baltimore. We had a Rasta pasta. It's nothing. The pasta, the sauces are crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying, you know how you drive and try to eat. I had to pull over and eat my pasta. One, I didn't. One, I think I had a white shirt on that day too, and I was like, yo,
Oh,
I am about to
dangerous.
mess up. It's ridiculous. So where does the recipes come from?
So I'm like Jana said, I'm originally from Boston, but I was born in Cape Verde Island, so I'm Cape Verdean. Cape Verde is an island off the west coast of Africa. So So the recipe, the season, I would have to say was inspired by my sisters and my sister-in-laws. Got to give a
Mm.
little credit for that. So I
And you
never.
said your sisters, because usually people say my mom, my grandmother. Your sisters were throwing down.
Yeah, my mom, she was a little bit of a diva. She didn't cook. My sisters cooked. At least when I came around, I'm the baby of like
Oh, no.
seven. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So all my older sisters would cook. So, and then Diana, she's from Chicago, but she's Puerto Rican.
Oh,
Um, yeah, it's
you
not
got the
obvious.
Afro Rican. So both of y'all are African descent, because Puerto Ricans are African
Yeah,
descent as well. And
yeah,
so if you didn't know,
Yeah.
yeah.
so all those that were pissed off about the
I
Bonito
did my
Bowl,
23andMe. It's legit. It's official.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you think about doing a pasta place? Was it just
So,
the nature of the kind of food that you liked already, or
yeah, so I mean, so there's a little backstory. So I've been sitting on the idea of Flamin' Pasta for 15 years. I had put a business plan together way back in like 2010.
mm,
But my love for pasta really started when I did an internship on Wall Street, and I was broke for like 2 weeks. So I had to live on like literally $100 for like 2 weeks. So I would buy pasta and marinara.
mm-hmm.
My little, not it's not even a studio, a shared studio, and I would just play around with the marinara sauce, throw some hot sauce, throw some Tabasco, you know, um, and then throw some black pepper, and then eventually,
You
as
could
I
afford
got,
some cheese. You were like, huh, let me see what's happening.
yeah, so as I got older, I would make pasta for friends, for some dates over the years, and I would get a lot of compliments. I just got really creative. I wasn't trying to, you know, recreate an authentic Italian recipe. I was just having fun with pasta, and that's really what separates Flamin' Pasta from other restaurants. Because I don't think there's a concept like that, like this one, because we're not. I try to tell people we're not an Italian restaurant.
Right.
We're a pasta restaurant. We're just having fun with pasta, right?
So I don't know if y'all, if you ever Google or Yelp, you have a top rating as an Italian restaurant.
Someone told me that at Droves. I think
You
this was
you
like
have a
months
top
back.
rating as an Italian restaurant. When you look it up, they say Italian restaurant, but it's
I'm not
probably just
denying. Yeah, I'm not denying that. Obviously we're gonna fall under the umbrella of Italian because it's
because of
pasta.
pasta, right?
But if you to give you an example, we one of the things that makes this unique is you create your own bowl. So if you say, what, I want fettuccine and I want bell peppers, onions, sun dried tomatoes, and I want that with marinara and Alfredo with a touch of pesto, extra garlic, black, and I want it medium spicy. Is that Italian? No, it's your own pasta bowl. So that's kind of the gist.
I'm just letting y'all know. What time y'all close today?
We close at 9, and we
Okay,
close on
yeah, yeah.
Sundays. Yeah.
Yeah, I have another interview and some other stuff, but don't be surprised. I'm making my way down there. I'm just gonna pop up and just get my food. I don't know if I'm doing a review, but I'm coming to get. My mouth been watering about the pasta for a minute, so I'm coming down to Inglewood today to get some pasta. Um, so when did you two meet?
Oh, what year
Um,
was that? 2019,
we met in
2018.
2019. We actually did a we did a carpool to we met through dancing kizomba. It's a West African tango dance. So we did a carpool. I've seen her around for 3 years. I always thought she was beautiful, but I never thought I had a chance. But that carpool, we got into a conversation about our 5-year goal, and I said, "Well, I want to open a restaurant in 5 years." And then she was like, "Well, I want to get into real estate in 5 years." And then I guess that attracted,
The
the
ambition.
ambition, kind of I guess it planted a seed.
Got my
It
attention.
got her attention. Then through dancing, then we carpooled again, and then one day I just asked her to go
Letting
for a
y'all know,
ride.
fellas. Women know. Women know. She's like, ah. She started doing the math. He's lying. He's a nice
Ah.
guy. He's not bullish, and he wants to
Yeah,
include me because the inclusivity. Uh, and my comedy is about sex, love, and relationships. I do the Dear Troy article with Sheen, all that stuff. But the thing that got me is from now. Me and Manny always see each other sometimes at Drobe or when but anytime they're together, it's inclusivity. It's like, hey, me and Diane, and I was like, even when we had the call and everything, I was like, they don't know, this is perfect. This is one is perfect because in a time, because how long has the restaurant been open?
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
So opening a restaurant in Los Angeles, right in the midst of closing out the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
and having the idea, that means during the pandemic, when restaurants were shutting down, you two were organizing the plan to open.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, yeah.
It was like right
It,
after,
it,
right
it
after.
happened. It happened really. Yeah, I literally everything happened within like 4 months. Because prior to opening the restaurant, like I worked at Disney Studios for 19 years.
Mm.
So my last day at Disney was July 23rd, 2023. 3 weeks later, I opened the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So everything moved really fast. And before I opened the restaurant, we were just boyfriend and girlfriend. But then, seeing how hard she worked that 6 months and supporting the vision, and caring sometimes more than I even did, so that caused me to propose to her.
It should help
So
me. It's like this is the woman that's going to help me with my vision. I want to help her, whatever.
yeah,
I mean, and it's
We're a great
that.
team.
yeah. So usually, like usually when you open a business, it either it makes you stronger or it makes you, or it pulls you apart. I know it sounds cliche, but opening the restaurant actually, brought us together because it really convinced me, especially as a man, we propose. When you see a woman that's like,
All
riding
in.
with you and believes in your vision and supports it, to me, I was like, I gotta wife her up. So we've been married a year now. So
Mm-hmm.
The last thing you want to do is she leave you. I might forget you. This, that, and other. Across the street, hot pasta opens up. You're like, hey.
Yeah.
so, so in real estate, did you already have a background in real estate? Did that help finding the space? Because y'all have a good location, and most people wouldn't realize how. I mean, and then Inglewood. See, maybe y'all, maybe because y'all were going forth, you don't realize how much of a blessing it is. The fact that you decided to open a restaurant, you open a restaurant, it hits. A
Mm-hmm.
restaurant is not like you picked up recipes from someone else and said we're going or went into a franchise. You opened a straight up new name restaurant with a
Mm-hmm.
right.
concept that you came up with and throwing it pretty much. That's why I like the Asian brother who did the review. He was like the Chipotle of pasta place, and it was a great concept because it was like, yeah, you can go in there and get it your way, and have pot, and everybody loves pasta, but everybody doesn't take time to cook nowadays and do things, and they can't get the. I mean, you're getting fresh ingredients and stuff thrown. It's a thing,
Right.
and so to take time to do that, pandemic, open it up, and then you get a chance to open up in Inglewood, one of the most thriving communities in Los Angeles right now.
Bordering Inglewood.
It's bordering Inglewood, but
Yeah, border.
Inglewood's down the street.
Across the street.
Technically, we're still Los Angeles, so we're in
Right.
between Inglewood and Westchester. But we would love to claim Inglewood.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it didn't come. It's right up. Believe me, it
It's
didn't
across the
take
street.
long for me to get there
Yeah,
from anywhere.
I
And
can't
how?
I can't tell you how many people on IG when the influencers mention Inglewood, they're like, "That's not in Inglewood. That's not in
Yeah.
Inglewood."
Oh,
I'm like, "It's close
I,
enough." That's like
I
saying I'm from
hosted.
Boston, but I'm
Shout out
20
to the
minutes away.
folks. Shout out to the folks with the Taste of Inglewood. I hosted a Taste of Inglewood, and I was on stage. It comes up like Los Angeles, make some noise, and then the mayor's assistant came to me and said, "Hey, can you make sure you say in Inglewood make some noise?" I was like, "Oh, Inglewood make some noise." They are serious.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like, "Yeah, that's cool. This is Inglewood." It was like, but so this is the first one. You've been open 2 years now? No, 2 years,
2.5. Yeah.
two and a half. Are you planning on opening any more? I hit him upside the head with doing something in the valley, and I know how it is because sometimes you think about that. Do you worry about um the recipes falling off if you open more, or what's the plan?
Well, when I when we opened the restaurant, I opened it with the vision of of scalability of
Mm,
potentially franchising it.
right.
I never saw it as just, we're just gonna have one restaurant and we're gonna be married to that one restaurant. So,
Right. Right.
so that's one of the things we're working on now is to see how we can scale it, how we can potentially franchise it. Do we need
And
to
it's
open one more location before we franchise? That's what we're trying to figure out at the moment. But obviously we're able to even think about that because the concept has worked, so we feel very fortunate, very blessed, because we got really lucky, blessed. I believe there's a little bit of luck,
mhm.
but that it goes back to you know what drew me to the restaurant. It's not like I've ever worked in a restaurant or I ever
You
you know
said you never worked in a restaurant?
no, I never worked in a restaurant, never went to culinary school. I never really felt qualified to open a restaurant, but I felt like I had the vision. I felt like there was a niche that needed to be met, the Chipotle of pasta, and nobody was doing it. And I was like, you know what? I've been at Disney 19 years. Like this is an opportunity to kind of parlay, you know, a package I got from Disney into a restaurant, and let's see if it works or not. Because I didn't want to be 75, 80 years old still talking about I have this concept, this pasta concept, and then I never did it. So I literally just, I mean, tell them the story about two
And if
weeks before we
anybody, I
opened.
see you guys in here. If you have any questions, you feel free to put them down.
She started panicking because 2 weeks before we opened the restaurant, I didn't even have a recipe. I
I
didn't
was
even
just like, babe, you don't even have a recipe. And then his eyes open like, deer in headlights. He was
So
like,
you was totally going according to your business background, the idea.
but I
It
was gonna.
wasn't let I want people to because this is something key for
Well,
some entrepreneurs to know too.
yeah, no,
Because
the idea of the concept, he had that going for like, what, 10, 12 years
right,
prior
yeah,
to
concept, but you didn't
opportunity.
have these great recipes that you were like, they're gonna love it
no,
if they taste it. Because some people
no,
fail because they think everybody is gonna love their mom's.
no.
It was not like a set recipe. He would just cook, and he just kind of like, no recipe, but you know how when you know how to make it and you just kind of make it the same each time, but you don't have an actual recipe. So
Yeah.
he
And it
left it
was fun. And it was fun. You enjoyed it.
for him, yeah.
So I have to be honest. Even though I've never gone to culinary school, you know how people can like R. Kelly never studied music. He can't probably he can't read music. Like I have that's my gift. I can go inside a fridge in the middle of the night. I know how to put things together. It's just a thing that I have. I know the right amount of seasoning. I know how
Right.
things come together, when it comes to food. So
Right.
I guess that's an innate gift I've always like had. Um, but yeah, like the menu that you see at the restaurant, I literally came in one Saturday from 8 until like 6 and
And put
just
it together.
came up with okay, we're gonna have a classic spaghetti, and then but I already like been working on the sauce. I have my own way of making marinara sauce. And then I was like, okay, we got to come up with a shrimp scampi. We have to come up. I literally came up with the menu just working in the kitchen, and that's the thing, having a. I've always been very technical, being an engineer. Like I've always, that's kind of
I
the
was
gift
about
that
to
I have.
ask you what was your position with or what was your course of study when you went to school and what did you do with Disney?
So I got a degree in mechanical engineering, but I never worked a single day as an engineer because my after my junior year, I got lucky again and got an internship on Wall Street. So then I did. So when I graduated college, I did investment banking for 2 years for J.P. Morgan,
Mm.
and then after that, I moved to LA like 24 years ago, and then I was at Disney for 19 years.
Mm.
Um, so I was a finance executive at Disney. So I worked for Disney Studios. So I oversaw the marketing budgets for like Marvel and Lucasfilms, and as well as like the P&L for the studio, profit and loss statement for the studio.
Somebody hit a good question. Question, and this is your I think this is your nephew, the average gamer. He said, question for Manny. Have you taken the time to understand and appreciate the fact that you took a leap of faith and belief in yourself to walk away from comfortability? What would you
Hmm.
tell someone who wants to bet on themselves?
I, I kid you not. There's literally a coffee shop in Toluca Lake, which is right by Burbank. For like 6 months, as I was planning on leaving,
Priscilla's?
planning on leaving Disney, there was like this corner chair, and I would go in there and I would write pros and cons of leaving Disney.
Mhm.
The biggest, the biggest con was comfortability and security,
Oh
especially if you're
wait,
making good money.
you weren't laid off. You left.
So I intentionally took a package. So I like, 'cause, like so I told my boss, I was like,
Wow.
if there's ever an opportunity to take a package. So it was like the third round of layoffs. So
Mhm.
I volunteered. Technically, you're like, oh, okay, you didn't volunteer, but my
No,
boss,
if they gave you a package, that
but
was
my
a
boss,
volunteer.
yeah, they even threw another, position with Searchlight, but I was like, but I'll be making the same money, more responsibility. He's like, yeah. I was like, I'm good. So basically, the package that I took, I parlayed that into the restaurant. But that was a big gamble because it was all of it.
Huge.
But there was a moment. There was a moment where there was like doubt. You know, it was just like, oh my
Oh,
god, are
absolutely.
we doing the right thing? Oh my god, you know.
It was the scariest thing I've ever done, and it's you watch these TikTok videos or Instagram videos about you know going for it. There's never the right time. There's never the right
Especially,
time.
and let me say that I'm not going to ask Diana because she looks like she's in college, and I don't even want to know. How old are you, Manny?
I'm 48,
48 years old. That means you were in your 40s,
40,
in a
45, 46. Yeah,
you were 46, good position, and could make a lateral move if you
right.
needed to. Could probably find another company. Now with everything going back up, you would have had another opportunity to do whatever. You could have even went into the same course of thing, but this idea was in your head, and you said, you know what? Maybe now.
Hmm.
Would you
Yeah.
have done that if you hadn't been with Diana though?
Say that again.
Would you still would have done it at the same course of time if you hadn't been with your wife?
Yes. Yeah, I would have.
So you had a strategy. You were going to jump. That's very Obama-ish. For those who don't know, if you've never read The Audacity of Hope, I mean,
Yeah.
Obama talks about when he got his butt whipped in a political race, and he went back to working. Him and his wife were working, raising the kids, and he was like, "I was just sitting at home watching the breeze and watching how the Earth rotated around the sun. I came up with this crazy idea to go back into politics one last time, and I presented to my wife." Like, hey, babe, I know it's crazy, but I'm just gonna try one more time. And she said, don't think you have my vote.
Wow. It's and
And
here's the crazy part. The crazy part is I convinced her to leave teaching after 15 years, a year
Yeah,
before I made the jump.
yeah.
So
just
yeah, she left teaching. So
Yeah, I
basically,
mean, I was doing, I wasn't like just unemployed. I was doing Turo, carving tool stuff.
yeah.
So,
So basically, like she was done with teaching after
and
the
then
pandemic,
the real estate
and she got
thing.
into yeah.
So the real estate and Turo, that was like my thing
So
when I was
both,
teaching.
so because we're 2 days apart, so both of us found ourselves at 45, 46, like basically without that corporate umbrella,
Hmm.
really trying to, okay, what, like, it's like we're literally, we felt very exposed because
mm,
now we're out in the world and it's just like, we're not going back. Like, going back is not an option. She's not going back to teaching. I'm not going back to corporate America. So it's like, we got to make this work.
now
So
was it I don't
the
give it
restaurant,
was the coffee shop Priscilla's? Which one did you go? Where you at?
Priscilla's. Oh, you
Yeah,
know
when
about
you said
Priscilla's?
Toluca Lake, that's where me and my friend Ed we go. I've had so many meetings at Priscilla's.
Yeah, Priscilla. I've been going to Priscilla's for 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
No, but
yeah.
so
I've been here 18 years,
yeah,
so Priscilla's is a
yeah.
mainstay.
So that
So
was so that was the scary part. It's the after you've been conditioned to having that weekly paycheck of
Stability,
stability,
structure.
structure,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you're thrown into the world and you're trying to create something literally from scratch
Hmm.
that has not, like, especially, and this is where we both went all in. Like I always tell
mm,
people, like,
mm.
could I've done Flamin' Pasta without her? Yes, but do I want to find out in retrospect? It's the idea is scary. Like literally, she's just like, yeah, she's
Yeah,
the
that's
biggest
a
person.
lot of luck, but that's the
Yeah,
biggest blessing that you find
yeah,
somebody that at the timing is in, and when you're doing it, I know it may take you 10 years to look back at it and be like, wow, we did that. But the timing is impeccable. But I know once you're in it, and people have said this before, once you're in something, you don't really realize
yeah,
that
absolutely. Yeah,
you've actually achieved. You got to take a minute, pat yourself, have a cigar, have a stogie, get near some water, and be like, baby, we're doing our dream. Like
yeah,
you have to. because the work of it is so
Yeah.
people don't recognize. If you have a restaurant that opens at 11 and closes at 9, you usually have to get there, especially with a restaurant like this. Once you start prepping at 8, 7 to chop stuff up, 6 a.m. maybe. You closing at 9, you're getting out of there at 11, 12 sometimes, depending if you're having meetings or what. People don't realize how many hours.
Yeah,
So
no,
I started
especially in the
working.
beginning. It was like literally, it was our life. It was like wake up and it's flaming pasta, go to sleep, and it's like it's wake up and it was just
And
literally our life for the
For a
first.
10-hour day, it's an 18-hour day. People don't realize that.
Yeah, it was like no gym, no, it was just the restaurant.
but the hardest part I think about the way I see entrepreneurship, or even like entrepreneurship in general. Imagine, there's a thing. I'm not much of a seaman, but remember you trying. Imagine you're trying to leave a deserted island, but then there's that final wave that you have to like get through because you get kept getting sent back, but then you got to get over that hump. That is the hardest thing. So just imagine waking up like every day for 6 months to lose money, even though on a spreadsheet you've actually forecasted that you're going to lose money,
Yeah,
right? But to be able to wake up every day to go and lose money in the hope that eventually you're going to get over that, you're
right.
going to make zero and then they'll make one. I remember when we theoretically made $1, we were like the happiest people.
And he's the finance guy. Y'all looking at the numbers like, hey,
It was
we
more
made
because
a
we didn't
profit.
lose money.
It was fun because we didn't lose money that day. We were like, we actually made money. There's no, and that was like 6 months in, which is a big deal,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't realize until, and hopefully with this and other food, and you're in a time, it's just the perfect timing because you're in a time where they're more, myself included, even though I started working in restaurants at 12. And I love cooking and it's my favorite pastime. I love food and I'm hard on food. So when I first had it, you're like, okay, let me go in here and today. Because the first thing you mess up, you want to make sure our people got the flavor. If there's no flavor, they're like, oh, all right, thanks. Man, that was good. You do the Muppet walk away. But even your colors, your signage, I can see how it's set up to franchise. I can see how it's set up to franchise. I wouldn't be, and I'll declare it. I'll say it on here first. Don't be surprised if SoFi or one of the stadiums or something like that open an opportunity for y'all to open a spot in there. We saw it happen with places like Slutty Vegan, and her husband has a Dave's famous cheesesteaks or something. He got into the stadiums. I Flamin' Pasta looks like it'd be perfect for stadiums, ball clubs, and would crush because it's simple, it's easy. As you're getting the concept down, it's just a no brainer. It's a $1 billion idea, so it's amazing.
Yeah. Knock on wood. You've professed it. So only time will tell.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So what do you want outside of having people come down today and get lunch? That's why we did this early, y'all. It's only 10:23 here in Los Angeles. You got time to get down for lunch. Actually, at 11 a.m. they open up, so you can
11:30.
bombard
11:30.
them.
Yeah.
11:30, okay.
11:30. Yeah.
Line up at 11 and have everybody. What's going on over there? So 11:30 a.m. But
Yeah.
what's something else you want people to know about Flame Pasta before we get out of here?
Well, the key thing of what makes Flamin' Pasta unique and different is that our motto, "Spice That Sauce," it literally is that. And I've always been a picky eater, even when I was poor, in West Africa, in a small island, just eating fish. I knew I did not like cooked fish. I've always been a picky eater, so I've always been of the belief that, you know, if I like my food, I know other people are gonna like my food. So it was very important that like we're not just throwing veggies and proteins and pasta and then top it off with a sauce. We actually season the veggies. We actually season our food like you're making it at home. So if you have bell peppers, onions, sun-dried tomatoes, mushrooms, and we go heavy on the garlic, and then we actually season everything with salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, basil, whatever the dish requires. So that way you have that base, and then the sauce only extenuates that flavor. Because most places, they just throw Alfredo in there and marinara, and then that's that.
And
So
then they got
um,
they got the oregano and the hot and everything on the side. You over
on the
there like,
side. And you're like, no, I
why am
want it.
I
I want
doing
it
all
like,
this
yeah.
at the?
Yeah.
Why am I?
So if you love garlic, we're your spot. If you love chicken Alfredo, I feel like we have the best chicken Alfredo in town because of the spice element.
Yeah.
We do make our own Alfredo sauce that you could just eat by itself, right?
Oh yeah, the Alfredo sauce. It's almost
Like a
like a
soup.
cream
Alfredo, you had to
soup.
make an Alfredo soup
Yeah.
and just put
It's
some
so
bread in it.
good.
It is
Our,
what it
yeah.
is.
And our Cajun pasta is dope. We just came up with a flaming vegan
I saw.
for our vegan folks.
Mhm.
And then very soon I'm thinking of doing a Rasta pasta as like a pasta of the month or like a secret menu type
Let
of
me tell
thing.
you, even if you want to do a tester, you might have a tester because I used to go crazy. There were certain places that could do it, certain places, but we had certain cooks when I worked at Pargo's back in was it the late 80s, 90s, early 90s. Uh, and they had a yes, they do have vegan stuff there. They had the Rasta pasta, and they had the chicken and the shrimp, or everything mixed in. But if you work there, when they would make the pasta for you, you're like, all right, thanks, man. They would, they cut a whole chicken breast on top, chop with it, and if you work there, they put a chicken breast on the bottom for you too, so they
Wow.
couldn't see.
They hook it up.
Yeah. And
But
everything. Yeah.
hearty meals
Party.
there at Flamin'
Yeah.
Pasta.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And our
Very.
portions are very
I
substantial.
was gonna say it.
And then anything you want to add?
No, no, just that. I mean, the like you said, the portions are substantial. I mean, it's shareable. A mini for me is good. Anything. I mean, we have a regular and a large. Like that's definitely shareable. I mean, some people have an appetite, but I think the large definitely can feed. I mean, in my opinion, two to three
Two to
people.
three people. Yeah, so so you get creativity, and then you pick your size, you pick your spice level,
Hmm.
and everything's made. Every bowl is made from scratch. So there's no batch cooking, and then we're putting chicken Alfredo, in bowls. Like
Hmm.
every single bowl is
Hmm.
made, in its own pan from scratch.
Hmm.
I love it. Now, so for the person, and like your nephew led into, I think it was your nephew, the gamer, um, the person, or I don't know if it's niece or nephew, I'm sorry, but the person who is looking to open a restaurant, a lot of people, especially since pandemic, have leaned into their passions, the entrepreneur ideas. Some people working from home, just another, and this as much as on the outside it seems like you took a leap. Like you said, you had the idea for 15 years, you worked a corporate gig that you were at for a good amount of time, you got a substantial amount to say, okay, I could do one or two things, I could do several things with this, but is it time for me to do my idea? And you lean into your idea, you have the perfect partner for it, and like you said, for months you did pros and cons over coffee with yourself. And that was the thing that Obama led into after the thing that Michelle said. He said, there will come a time where it's your vision, you and God. And you have to decide, are you going to do this? Because if everyone falls to the wayside, it's still your vision initially. So,
Right.
what would you say to the entrepreneur that's like, they're right there vacillating and they're trying to figure out, what do I do?
Um, if they want to open a restaurant, I'll tell them not to, because
So,
that's what everyone pretty much told me.
told you, right?
Because it is extremely hard,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and you definitely don't want to open a fine dining because the failure rate is tremendous.
Yeah.
We're fast casual, and the concept is unique. I didn't do this because I have a passion for cooking. I didn't do this because I have a passion for opening a restaurant. I did it because I thought it was a great business opportunity. I thought there was a niche. I didn't know for sure it was going to work, but I also have a numbers background because I did forecasting and planning. So I had my spreadsheet. Every day I knew if I was in the black, if I was in the red. I didn't have to wait until the end of the month to figure out if we made money or not. I knew every day how much money, ballpark, we lost.
Hmm.
So whoever is an entrepreneur that's wanted to open a restaurant, you got to be on top of your numbers. You got to have a concept that's unique. Simplicity is key. We have a very simple menu. That's why In-N-Out is very successful because I have a very simple menu. So if you want to open a restaurant, I would say fast casual, simple menu, cool concept, something where, you don't have to be married to it after like a year or two. Something that you
Mhm.
can actually like delegate, put people and system in place so it can run itself. That's one. Now, if you want to be an entrepreneur to do anything else, I know people talk about I want to follow my passion, but you gotta add value at the end of the day.
You have to
Like
have value.
if you're not adding value to someone's life, they say money follows value. So whatever passion you have, whatever idea you have, are you adding value to people's lives? Like people, are hungry for our type of pasta, right? I didn't know that before. I assumed. So it's come to fruition. It's been a blessing. We've been very fortunate. So that's a value that we're adding because there's no place you can go and and In-N-Out and get a chicken Alfredo or spaghetti that quick.
Right. You
Right,
can
right.
go to. I'm not going to mention. I'm not going to dog any of the
I mean,
Italian
you
restaurants,
can go
but
to Olive Garden and a fine dining restaurant, but in terms of like a Chipotle style, because when I had my son, it's like when he wanted spaghetti, I had to go to Bob's Big Boy or I had to go to Olive Garden. It's a whole process, right?
and then you usually probably get home and still doctor it up.
Yeah, yeah. So I
That's
throw
the
some hot
thing.
sauce in
The
there.
doctor up.
Yeah,
Daddy, salt, pepper.
yeah. Any advice you would give? Or?
No, sometimes I understand the part about the value, but sometimes, there's a point of analysis paralysis too. Just don't
Yeah.
get, stuck there. Always continue to move forward, like, no matter what. And
Yeah,
yeah, eventually a door, will open. So,
yeah. And then the big conundrum is it's never the right time.
It's
oh yeah,
never the right time.
yeah. It's like, wait, I'm
Like
not confident enough. Yeah.
it's like you gotta at some point you gotta make that jump. If you
Right.
if you go on parachuting, there's never a right time to jump off the plane. I mean, there is the right time, but eventually you're gonna be
there's
forced to.
there's a right
They're
time
gonna
to open
push
the
you
play
out.
to shoot.
Yeah, but the feeling of like, oh, this is the time. You just gotta go for it. I mean, that's yeah. Yeah.
Manny and Diana, thank you guys so much for taking. I know you got an
Yeah,
hour
thank
before
you.
you open up. Flamin' Pasta. Give them the information about Flamin' Pasta. Also, the websites if they can pre-order, if they can do all that. He's right, and I made the job. Yes, you have, Cheryl friend. Shout out to North. We got everybody from New Zealand to UK, Charlotte, North Carolina. A bunch of people from Los Angeles in here. Thank you all for tuning in. And if you're watching later or if you've seen this, share this around. Share this with your friends. Share this with other entrepreneurs. Share this with the foodies. And it's going to be on my Shorty 40 page, and I'm gonna share it. We're gonna share it around too. But
Yeah, we
yeah, let
appreciate
people
you,
know
George.
where. Oh, no problem, no
Okay.
problem.
We're on
Let
the
people.
platforms, Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash, Grubhub, and then we have some specials on there as well.
Actually,
Yeah, we have half trays for events. That's some events we've been selling more. I think for like companies and stuff, just for employees. So that's been good. You can order on our website www.flaminpasta.com.
and we do handle big orders. Like our biggest order was 300 bowls before we
Wow.
opened for USC's football team
Yeah,
a couple of months ago. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So that's great.
yeah.
I was hey. And give me your address.
So we're on La Tijera in Centinela, so 6913 La Tijera Boulevard. We're by the Ladera Center, where the Ralphs, the Amazon Fresh,
Yeah, across from the McDonald's.
across from the McDonald's.
Oh, where Chuck E. Cheese used to be. There's a Goodwill here.
We're in the same parking lot. We're in the same parking lot as Eugene's
Oh
or
yeah.
or the old townhouse.
The old townhouse.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, and there's a big parking lot in the back.
Oh yeah, and there's a huge
There
parking
is
lot in
a
the
huge
back.
parking lot in
So
the back. Just in case you see the front, there's no parking because there's a lot of business out there. There's a huge parking lot in the back.
yeah.
All right, y'all. I will
All right.
probably be down there whether you're there or not later on because I got my mouth worked up for the pasta thing. Mine is set up around the pasta.
All right.
But
Well, thanks for your support. We appreciate you. We wish you all the best of luck.
Yeah,
thank
thank
y'all
you.
so much. All right. Talk to
All
you
right.
soon. Go
See
follow
you.
Flamin' Pasta at Flamin' no G FLAMIN Pasta on IG. And I'll talk to y'all soon. See
Cool.
y'all in a
All
bit.
right. All right. How do you end?